Picture this scene from a Saturday morning. You wake up in your 4,000 square foot home and the quiet feels heavy. You drive your $85,000 SUV to the upscale grocery store, passing 3 neighbors installing new swimming pools. You see the Tesla charging stations at the country club are all occupied. Your phone buzzes with an alert for the school fundraiser, the one with the $1,000 minimum suggested donation. Your spouse mentions the Joneses just got back from their 3rd international vacation this year, and you feel that familiar cold knot in your stomach when you check your bank app. You make great money. So why do you feel so broke? But what if I told you that 20 to 5% of Americans earning over $150,000 live paycheck to paycheck? But what if I told you the higher your income climbs, the broker you might actually feel? But what if I told you the very symbols of success you're chasing are designed to keep you financially trapped? This isn't just keeping up with the Joneses. This is a systemic 6-figure poverty trap. My name is Bobby, and I spend way too much time thinking about why smart, high-earning professionals feel so financially insecure. If you're someone who got that big promotion but somehow feels broker than before, or if you look around your affluent neighborhood and wonder how everyone else is actually affording this, or if you've ever hidden your financial anxiety behind another expensive purchase, because that's what successful people do, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Because today, we aren't talking about budgeting. We are talking about a psychological and social script that transforms high income into zero wealth. We're talking about the affluence paradox. Here's the thing about earning more money. Conventional wisdom says if you just earn more, your financial problems will disappear. They tell you to work harder, get promoted, chase that next salary bump, and freedom will follow. But that advice ignores a brutal, counterintuitive truth. For millions of high earners, more income doesn't create wealth, it activates a script that destroys it. Today, we're exposing that script. In 1998, economists Thomas Stanley and William Danko published a landmark study. They spent years researching thousands of high-income households expecting to find predictable patterns of luxury spending among the truly wealthy. Their discovery was shocking. The people with the highest net worths weren't the ones with the biggest houses or flashiest cars. They found that true wealth was almost invisible from the outside. They identified what they called prodigious accumulators of wealth versus underaccumulators of wealth. The underaccumulators earned good money, often excellent money, but spent it maintaining appearances. They found the average underaccumulator earning $200,000 a year often had less net worth than a prodigious accumulator earning just $80,000. Think about that. Then, Harvard economist Juliet Schor in 1990 identified the aspirational gap. She found that as income inequality increased, middle and upper middle-class households started comparing themselves to the top 1%, not their actual peers. This created spending patterns completely disconnected from actual earnings, what she termed competitive consumption. Your benchmark for normal became a billionaire's Instagram feed, not your cousin's budget. Finally, Nobel-winning psychologists Daniel Kahneman and Angus Deaton in 2010 discovered that while emotional well-being rises with income up to about $70,000 to $5,000 annually, beyond that point, additional income produces virtually no increase in day-to-day happiness. But it does significantly increase stress and anxiety about maintaining lifestyle. These studies converge on one painful truth. Once basic needs are met, additional income gets funneled into status maintenance, not wealth building. The higher you climb, the more expensive the minimum viable lifestyle appears to become. This is the academic bedrock of the trap. Now, you might be thinking, okay, Bobby, that's a nice story about the 90s, but how does that apply to my actual life in 2025? Well, look around you. This dynamic is everywhere. Let's take Alex. He's 34, just got promoted to vice president at a tech firm. His salary jumps from $145,000 to $210,000 overnight. To look the part. Alex upgrades. He moves from a $750,000 home to a $1.2 million home. Puts his 2 kids in private school. That's $48,000 a year. And he joins the country club with a $15,000 initiation fee. His actual take-home increase after taxes is about $3,800 a month, but his new VP-appropriate lifestyle costs him $7,200 more per month. Instead of building wealth with his raise, Alex is now $3,400 a month broker than before his promotion. He's trading future financial security for present-day signaling. Or take the dual-income couple, both earning $125,000. They should be wealthy. But between their $6,000 a month mortgage in the good school district, 2 leased luxury cars, and the invisible costs of 2 professional careers, they save less than they did earning $80,000 combined 10 years ago. You see it in the consultant with the $5,000 watch and $42,000 in credit card debt, the lawyer with the beach house losing $18,000 a year, the doctor driving a Porsche with 0 retirement savings at 45. Lifestyle creep inflation atom. It's where your standard of living rises faster than your income, creating a reverse wealth effect. Let's perform a brutal audit of this trap. Let's call this person Jordan. Jordan is a 38-year-old marketing director earning $185,000 in a major metro area. On paper, this looks like wealth. Let's calculate what actually happens. Jordan starts with $185,000 gross. First, there's the tax cliff. However, marginal tax rates mean Jordan keeps less of each additional dollar. Between federal, state, and FICA, let's call it 30 to 8% times 0.38 is 70 days for taxing $60. The running total is now $114,700. But that's the easy math. We all know taxes. Now we have to subtract the invisible professional tax. High-earning jobs come with unspoken requirements: a better wardrobe, networking at expensive restaurants, expected charitable donations, professional development courses. Let's be conservative: $1,200 a month on suits and clothing, $600 a month on business dining, $400 a month on professional dues. Behavior Act, $26,400 a year. The total is now 80% $300. But we're not done. Then there's the zip code tax, of behavior to live in neighborhoods with other high earners, for networking, for schools, for status. Jordan pays a 40% premium on housing, a $4,200 a month mortgage instead of $2,800 for a comparable home just 20 minutes away. That's a premium of $16,800 a year. New total, $70,000 to $500, and it gets worse. Then there's the psychological maintenance fee, the mental load of maintaining appearances, the weekend getaways you feel pressured to post, upgrading cars before they're paid off, funding kids' activities to match their peers, holiday gifting expectations. Let's estimate a modest $2,000 a month. That's another $24,000. So let's add it up. Starting at $185,000 year minus $70,700 in taxes, minus $26,400 in professional costs, minus $16,800 in zip code premium, minus $24,000 in psychological maintenance. Jordan's actual discretionary income is $43,500. That's not a typo. $185,000 actually became $43,500. That's a 76.5% reduction in usable income, a behavior from the top 8% of earners to the spending power of someone making $65,000 without the trap. Think about that for a second. And we haven't even touched on the debt. According to the Federal Reserve's 2022 survey of consumer finances, 27% of households earning $150,000 or more have less than 1 month's expenses in liquid savings. That's actually higher than the national average of 24%. A 2023 study by Northwestern Mutual found the average person earning over $100,000 carries $45,000 in non-mortgage debt. For those earning over $150,000, it jumps to $60,000 to $7,000. And a Stanford Business School analysis in 2021 found that each $10,000 increase in income correlates with a 4% increase in spending on visible status goods, cars, watches, handbags, but only a 1% increase in savings. This means high earners are systematically trading wealth-building capacity for signaling. You're buying tomorrow's financial security to display today's success. And before you say, people should just have more self-control, a University of Cambridge study found that for every 1% increase in a person's social circle's income, their own spending increases by 0.3%, completely subconsciously. That's the equivalent of getting a $10,000 raise and immediately spending $3,000 more a year. just to keep pace with people you probably don't even like. This is where it gets really interesting. When you earn more, you gain access to social and professional circles with higher visible consumption. But that creates immense pressure to signal you belong. Through housing, education, vacations, that signaling drains your actual wealth, leaving you dependent on that continued high income. That dependence makes you risk-averse, trapping you in jobs you might hate. And being trapped in a job you hate makes the external signaling even more important because your job title becomes your entire identity. It's like running on a luxury treadmill that speeds up every time you get a raise. You're running harder, sweating more, but going exactly nowhere financially. And here's what really gets me. The luxury goods industry, premium real estate developers, private schools, and prestige service providers, they rely on your insecurity. They count on you believing your car defines your worth. They depend on you equating your child's school with your parenting success. They literally budget for your anxiety about keeping up with perceived peers. When you start living below your visible means, when you drive a paid-off car while earning $300K, when you live in a modest home in a great neighborhood, you become a bad customer for them, but a great CFO for your own life. A system wants you focused on monthly payments, not net worth, on Instagram likes, not compound interest, on visible luxury, not invisible wealth. This isn't just bad psychology or bad math. This is predatory. This is designed. This is a wealth extraction machine disguised as the American dream. Now, I can hear the objections already. Bobby, I need these things for my career. Your clients expect a certain level of success. And look, I get it. That seems reasonable in some fields. But ask yourself, are you signaling competence or just wealth? A clean, reliable car signals responsibility. A $100,000 car just signals you have payments. Invest that difference, and in 10 years, you can choose clients based on merit, not perceived necessity. You might also be thinking, what about enjoying my money? Life's short. Absolutely enjoy it. But distinguish between consumption that brings you genuine joy and consumption that brings social anxiety. The difference is whether you're buying it for you or for them. The problem isn't spending money. The problem is spending your freedom money to alleviate present social anxiety behavior. So what do you actually do with this information? How do you escape the trap? Let me give you something practical. Strategy number 1, the reverse budget. Instead of budgeting what's left after spending, you budget what's left after saving. You pay your future self first, then your necessities, then your lifestyle. Why does it work? It makes wealth building non-negotiable. It forces your lifestyle to fit within what remains, not the other way around. Here's how to implement it. Calculate your true savings target. Aim for at least 25% of gross if you're a high earner. Second, automate that transfer on payday before the money ever hits your checking account. Third, build your lifestyle spending around what's actually left in checking after that. Fourth, use separate accounts for different spending buckets. For example, on $200,000 income, automatically invest $4,000 on the first of the month. Whatever's left in checking after the fifth is what you actually have to live on. It transforms you from a spender who saves to a saver who spends. Strategy number 2, the status audit. This is a quarterly review of every expense asking one question: am I buying this for me or for them? Why it works is it separates authentic spending from signaling spending, creating conscious consumption. Implementation. Go through your last 90 days of credit card statements. Each expense. Joy for you, necessity for survival, or signal for others. Calculate the signal percentage. Next quarter, aim to reduce it by 20%. You might realize 40% of your restaurant spending is at seen places rather than places you actually love. Cutting that in half frees up thousands with zero reduction in happiness. Strategy number 3, the stealth wealth protocol. This is systematically redirecting would-be status spending into invisible assets. It works because you maintain social confidence. You know your net worth without the wealth-draining displays. How to do it? Identify your next expected upgrade. Calculate its total cost, purchase, maintenance, insurance. Invest that amount instead in a separate, named investment account. Create a private milestone celebration when that investment hits certain targets. Example, Instead of a $75,000 car upgrade, keep your current car and invest $1,200 a month. In 5 years, that's over $90,000 invested, likely $110,000 with growth. You drive the same car but gain a confidence no luxury vehicle can provide. But the biggest shift is psychological. You have to start asking, how much can I keep, instead of how much can I spend? You're not your salary, you're your net worth, your freedom quotient, your walk away from a bad situation power. Here's what I want you to do this weekend. Calculate your personal wealth rate. Take your annual increase in net worth, all assets minus all debts, and divide it by your gross income. If it's below 20%, you're caught in the trap. If it's above 30, you're building real freedom regardless of what car you drive. That number is your truth. I want to leave you with one final thought. This isn't really about money. It's about sovereignty. It's about whose approval you ultimately seek, the fleeting judgment of acquaintances or the future security and freedom of your own life. We thought moving up meant acquiring more, but real upward mobility is about needing less validation, less signaling, less external confirmation. Our grandparents understood this intuitively. The wealthy family in 1950s America often lived in the same middle-class neighborhood as everyone else. They just owned the bank. Today, we've inverted this. We try to look like we own the bank while actually being its most indebted customer. The people who actually thrive at high incomes aren't the best consumers, but the worst customers for the status industry. They derive their confidence from spreadsheets, not showrooms. Their luxury is invisible. Options, flexibility, and the profound peace of knowing they work because they want to, not because they have to. You can't out-earn a broken relationship with status, but you can build wealth so substantial that status becomes irrelevant. When your net worth speaks for itself, you don't need your car to do the talking. You're not broken for feeling financially anxious despite your high income. You're human in a system designed to create that exact anxiety. This journey is unfair because nobody teaches it, and it's hard because it looks like moving backward. But once you understand that real wealth is invisible, you can stop competing in visible races. Nobody actually wins. If this video revealed why you feel broker at 200,000 than you did at 80, share it with one friend in the same trap. Smash that like button if you're ready to build wealth instead of just displaying it. Hit subscribe for part 2, where we'll build your actual escape plan. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.